Dankie.
Good day everyone, I'm currently on my way to Laurentia Lakes for a specimen carp angling session. I was invited by a good friend of mine and a well-known specimen carp angler in South Africa. I'm very looking forward to this. Laurentia has been on my bucket list dams since they started catching a lot of big fish. So yeah, hopefully we can get some nice carp coming out. Unfortunately it looks like the weather is gonna be a bit cloudy and rainy, so yeah, it might be a wet session, but yeah, let's see. When I arrived, my friend John just released a common carp he had caught. John quickly tried to get his rig out again in the pouring rain in hopes of another bite. Unfortunately, the night was quiet, but I enjoyed sleeping in my bed chair under the tarp, listening to the sounds of the nightlife. The following morning started off misty, but the sun came out shortly after. Even the coots were playing around in our swim. While enjoying a cup of coffee and some biscuits, we heard an alarm go off at the guys next to us in swim 2.
Kyk wat gaan aan. Draai gekom.
Werner caught a nice old common carp.
Eergister vis liewer.
After seeing Werner's fish, both John and I decided to redo our rods to try and get ourselves a day bite. John is gonna drop this rig here in the open water.
I don't know if you guys can see here on the fish finder, I'm trying to find where it goes from the deeper water where it starts shelving up. Looking for anything else, you know, with a swim that's pretty uniform, the bottom. There's not much structure or anything. Look for any bit of difference in the lake bottom, depth, anything like that. So what I'm looking for here is, you can see there on the fish finder, I marked the spot earlier where it drops from 1.2 down to 1.3, and then it should drop down to 1.4 meters. So right at the bottom of that shelf is where I place this rod. There we go. Always try and swing your lead out a bit. Make sure that's right. I have gone through the spot and I've checked that there is quite a bit of silkweed on the bottom. So what I did is I ended up fishing a 12mm carp candy pop-up from Carpie Trader, flavored in krill, in squid and berry, just to keep the rig away from the silkweed at the bottom. Just trying to find that depth again. It goes from, there we go, from where it goes from 1.3 to 1.4. Okay. swing your lead out a little bit to make sure your hook link. There we go. Your hook link straightens out. A couple of handfuls on that.
Would you normally spread out the handfuls, or?
I like to fish a few handfuls straight on top of the bait, and then I'll end up spreading one or two a bit further out just to get the carp moving a bit. You know, moving carp's always much easier to catch than a one feeding on one small spot.
Okay.
So I'll always try and put most of the feed on the spot, but then I'll spread one or two handfuls out. There we go. Perfect.
Awesome stuff.
Okay, so firstly, our feed here for Laurentia, the first thing we do is of course boilies, carpbaits, milky cocoa. We'll put in a couple of hands full of that, quite a bit. As you guys saw earlier, I do feed quite a lot. Put a few whole ones and then a few mulched up ones. Usually I don't mulch them or crush them or whatever, but there's quite a bit of silt here. So just to make sure that there's something on top of the silt, even if the boilies sink in. I'll crush a few of them up, and crush a few more. And then what I also like to do is I like to fish with two different flavors of boilies. Like I'll usually go for a sweeter flavor and then a more fish meal, meaty or type flavor in a boilie as well. Over here I've got the liver lava, also from carpbaits. Put a couple of handfuls of that in. And then same story. What I do is I mulch a few handfuls of these up as well. When I say mulch, I think most people will see it or know it as crushed boilies, but okay. And then no mix is complete without some WSC particles. Unfortunately at Laurentia we are limited. The rules state that we're only allowed to use buckwheat and hemp. So because of that, Anthony from WSC Particles has made us a lovely mix of buckwheat, hemp, and then some chili, just the new super chili mix. And there's a few other additives in there as well. Brilliant mix. I won't go anywhere without it. Yeah, good mix and ready to fish.
We were still busy redoing our rods, then we heard Werner had another run, and this time he got this bright orange koi. Say lekker. Look at those white tips on the fins. Awesome. You know carp fishing is getting serious when you stroke your beard right after you set up your rod on the bang sticks and stare out over the water. Or is that just the magic touch to catch big fish?
Net so entry sien of ek nog iets sien. Anders gaan ek hom hier ergens kom sit. Got a Pacific Spice wafter from Carpbait, topped with a little OMC bait blob, just for a bit of security with the coots, and also just for a pop of color. Well,
This one is a definition of a margin rod. John will explain his thought process on what he's doing here.
we've heard quite a few fish in the reeds, like in the reeds. So what I'm thinking is putting one as close to the reeds as possible while still fishing safe. Try and lock them out a bit. What we'll do, we'll throw a couple of handfuls of feed into the reeds to get them feeding, get their confidence up, and then hopefully come out and try and get one of the hook baits here. I'm just making sure that we're not dropping on that siltweed I was talking about earlier, because we're fishing with a wafter here, not a pop-up. But it is quite hard there, which is a good thing, because most of the dam is either covered in silt or silkweed. So to find a hard spot here close to the reeds, I think is quite a winner. Just double checking or triple checking that there's no siltweed there to make sure we are presenting. That's perfect.
The reason for going with a wafter here instead of the pop-up?
I think in this shallow water, as you can see here, it's less than a meter deep. I think a pop-up might just be a little bit too much in their face. So we're going with a wafter, and also a more match the hatch type wafter. Because of the coots. The coots have been giving us quite a bit of uphill here against the reeds, or on this peg in general. So just to try and avoid them, we put on a match the edge wafter instead of a pop-up or a brighter wafter.
Okay, nice.
I'm feeding quite a bit here, not just for the fish, but to try and, I'm spreading the bait out a bit more, try and keep the coots busy as well, so they don't only jump on our spot or dive on our spot. And like I said earlier, just a couple of handfuls inside here to get them feeding and get their confidence up a bit. Hopefully they come out and fall for our trap. There we go.
Perfect. All the rods were set up and ready with fresh bait. Now the wait begins. Then this happened.
My first ghosty and my PB, 7.75 kgs. Thank you, John, for the opportunity. First one at Laurentia. Super chuffed with this one.
After catching my BB ghostie, the rest of the night was quiet. But the following morning it was John's turn. Yay, what happened here, John?
We had an early morning bite, or when I say early, about 10-15 minutes ago. Quickly got the rod back in. As I see, there's quite a bit of activity on that spot. I can already see the comments saying you're not allowed to retain a fish here. But like I said, it's been in here for about 10 minutes or so. Quickly just got the rod back out. Beautiful mirror, that will show you guys that now. Always make sure the fins are tucked in.
A wafter. Okay.
Guys, we just had this absolutely beautiful mirror, just under 10 kilos. What a beaut. It's been quite a challenging session. I think the weather's been against us. You know, on the peg we're sitting here, peg 1 at Laurentia Dam, it's very, very shallow water, and the session's been booked quite a few months in advance. So we were hoping for proper sunshine and hot weather, but we've had quite the opposite. Quite chilly for the time of year, and yeah, rainy. So I think the weather conditions hasn't been quite ideal for this peg that we're sitting on, but we still managed quite a few fish. We had, I think, a common, a ghostie, a mirror, and then a cat for Dan as well. So we can't complain about that. We've got fish from both our spots, open water and up against the reeds. Unfortunately, we lost 1 or 2 up against the reeds, and we still got an hour or 2 to go. Hopefully we can catch another one, but if this is the end, can't complain about that. Guys, this brings an end to my campaign here at Laurentia. It's been an absolutely incredible year. We had 2 40s, countless 30s, 20s. It's been a crazy year. Caught my target fish, had a PB ghostie, and we've had a brilliant social session to end it off. We had a ghostie, a common, a mirror. It's been a crazy one. It's a bit of a bitter sweet pill to swallow. Not that I'm never fishing it again. I'm definitely still going to do a couple of sessions, but time to move on and take on the next challenge. Cheers, gents. Say.